So here we are seeing the humanistic management theory. There are a series of theories, but later on we shall see a theory proposed by Abraham Maslow and the other corresponding theories, such as theories proposed by uh, David McClelland, which we call the need for achievement theory, and other theories. So the humanistic theories are centered to the welfare of a person, rather than just looking at the productivity, efficiency, and profitability. So the other theories we saw were mainly focusing on, they were organizational oriented, not human oriented. They are putting their focus more on the organization much more than the person. So this one is coming up, it is what mostly is being looked at in the current days in the perspectives of management, though the other ones are also not thrown. So this approach is centric on the worker, their welfare. So they say the worker's life first, then the work next. Yet the other ones were, let the work be done first, the worker's life next. Yes, the worker first, and then the work next. So this appreciates that when workers are not motivated, then alternative, the institution cannot become productive. You need to first make sure that the worker is well motivated, supported. Then afterwards, you can achieve the productivity. So this approach puts the worker at the front line of every goal, every objective, and every activity. So when workers, for example, in a school are not properly managed, motivated, rewarded, not skilled, not involved in management programs, then it becomes hard for the organization to achieve productivity. So that's why you find that institutions are making sure that at least staff get accommodation, or where they are, whether it is on site or off site, whether the accommodation is within the school or within the organization or outside, they make sure that the worker is in a well placed place for accommodation. That is health insurance. They see that you can afford, if they have not paid the money sufficient for insurance, then they give you the insurance card. If they say the money is not enough for you for paying medical bills, then they give you medical insurance options as organizations. They sponsor staff, children, keep their wages increasing over time. So this motivates them to to be more productive. So now this one of the proponents for this humanistic theory is Abraham Maslow, who developed the hierarchy of needs. It is called the hierarchy, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That hierarchy of needs is what you see here. That hierarchy of needs proposed by Abraham Maslow starts from the lowest level to the highest. It says that let the workers have physiological needs provided, such as food, what else? Shelter,
medical.
Yes.
But in a real sense, most of us would love to apply that theory. But the biggest challenge that most of us are faced with is the inadequacy of resources, availability of resources. I believe that is the biggest challenge. Otherwise, most of us would love to see our staff, our workers happy, you know.
Okay. So these ones will first plan. You see, they will first plan for the welfare of the people, and then the others they think they will come from these needs. However, they are thought that human needs are inexhaustible. And as you satisfy one need, the person aspires for another, a higher one.
Especially with the teachers.
But there are some levels we have to reach in the institutions.
Transport, tomorrow he will ask for food. So consistent.
Then security and safety of workers. Their security and safety. So we would not need to find either workers have collapsed in the building, it has collapsed on them, the vehicle was not maintained, so the tire went off as they were traveling. The safety and security needs are key. Then these are love and belonging. Love and belonging, they need to know, they need to appreciate that they belong to the institution and they are in some associations, or they need to identify them with themselves with the institution, and those social groups should be also allowed. This is the esteem needs, where the worker is treasured and appreciated, and where workers have aspirations, like they want to be head teachers. Don't tell them, do you know the battle we go through to be head teachers?
Sometimes they need to be reminded.
As if it is impossible, as if being a head teacher is is something going to Mars. Taita Mutanuru, all that. But they should be given esteem here. The teacher wants to start a school, but is in your school. And then you're showing how costly, and even the cost you're showing is like impossible. The school is started by people who are rare in the world. esteem. Then here, this is a need for self-actualization, where people feel like they should create their own what? Their own world.
Physiological and maybe basically fluids or everything is physiological.
Yes.
That can physiological be reduced down to an equivalent of health needs or life needs.
Physiological includes clothing, it includes the food, the need for
Medical.
yes, drinks, yeah,
Accommodation.
those basic ones. At least the person as is working in your institution should be able to afford them because of working in that institution.
Physiological, I see it being taught, but it is a common term in biology, referring to functions of the body. Simple.
Mm,
How the body functions. That you take in oxygen, breathe out from outside. You have a gut to digest your food. You have a transport system, materials, you have nerves, detectors, to be sensitive to your internal environment. So that is all to do with physiology.
So we see that workers need to be motivated in this organization, and that the motivation is in two kinds. Here you see intrinsic motivation and also extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic is within the heart. Go back. Is within the heart, and that this comes with appreciation for work done, creating a conducive working environment. The policies are friendly, also supportive, and also even promotions are intrinsic. When you delegate roles, yeah, that's also intrinsic. It motivates people. You have celebrations and also streamlining relationships. I have heard the madam here talking about going with staff to a party. They ate certain burgers and barbecue. Yeah, that one. When it comes to getting physical things, it becomes extrinsic. But when you celebrate, for example, you've gone to someone's party, it's your staff's party, birthday party, or it is a wedding party, and you've attended it, to some who are needed there. You can have staff who don't want the teacher to be their function.
Now, what do you do?
For some reason.
I want to suggest that in case maybe you can be there shortly and then you disappear at a certain time and you leave them enjoying maximally.
Yeah.
When we were not invited. No, of course, if it is a school function.
You can.
Must not overstay one's willpower. Every time you're invited to any function, you should not overstay one's willpower.
Exactly.
It is. Is he saying something? Yes, he has not heard well your proposal.
Overstaying one's willpower.
That you should not overstay.
be there for a while and then
Mm.
you leave people to enjoy.
There is a principle of demand and supply even in relationships with people when it comes to leadership and management, that if you are demanded in some place, you go. But when you over supply yourself, the demand drops. So it's like having many beans on the market, and then their price has to reduce. So you go there and then stay for that time you are essential and leave. When you stay for a time you are not essential, you have oversupplied yourself, the demand is low.
Even get embarrassed for no good reason.
Twandibadde tukola ki?
Amemerawo omwana najja n'akwesibako n'ayagala okuzina naawe. Ayagala kukwata munyigo. That kind of embarrassment.
So this is extrinsically motivating. Extrinsically requires using external forces, such as physical things, to reward, to give gifts, and like wealth allowances are also extrinsic. Whichever reward that is can be physically given, it is extrinsic. However, managers and administrators are really very sensitive with this also, that if each time you are giving rewards, gifts, some people can act simply to get gifts other than doing it as a personal initiative, that without gifts they will not do, or rewards. But if they are done, then they should be done.
And then the time you don't give gifts, people think you didn't appreciate.
Yes.
You see them withdrawing.
But you see, last time there are some teachers who told me that they completed the end of year celebration and their director didn't tell them anything like thank you, and they walked away. They kept around to see what she says, but she was not saying anything. They kept it at heart. It is term 2 of the following year when they told me. And then that there is also some, when they do something, there is someone that is appreciated among the staff. Usually appreciations are tagged to that person.
That one person.
Yeah, that one person.
It's the performer.
Like a teacher, like
I know it is bad, too much of anything. Every time you are mentioning that one person, it's also not good.
This one, the contingent theory, we have looked at it. Let's call it the interdisciplinary approach to matters of management. So that there is no one theory that suits all the situations. So management involves these people, resources, situation, and time. So manager should know the people in some situations, people in some times, they have to be handled in some way, and resources also as well. So these elements are not the same all the time. So our strategies here and systems depend on the situations and the resources that we have, and also the kind of people who are involved in there. So you cannot duplicate completely everything from one organization to another. Actually, even the same organization, the way a school is handled, even if it is of the same name in Kampala, may not necessarily be the same way it is handled if it was in Soroti, even if it is the same, it's a branch of the same school. There are some little adjustments done to meet the situations in there in Soroti that are not in Kampala. Someone was okay. This one, we shall look at that one. We shall look at other things another time. So members, here you will look at the needs for the need for achievement theory by David McClelland. You can look at it also and see. This one, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We have seen the brief of it, but usually when we are doing, we are elaborating it, we use a pyramid, like a triangle, where we put the basic physiological needs at the bottom and the others. There is also the two-factor theory. You can the two-factor theory is by Herzberg, but you'll find it Herzberg's two-factor theory. Sorry? Yes. Yeah, they are all advocating for humanistic theory, which involves motivation of people and human development. Welfare of people, wellness of people. Sorry? The two-factor theory goes to the needs, for example, posed by Abraham Maslow, and classify them as there is what they call satisfiers. They are those that you do that satisfy people's needs, and there are those activities that don't necessarily satisfy them but satisfy the organization needs. So the manager has got to differentiate. For example, if you build a complex in the school, does not satisfy staff needs.
It doesn't.
So when you come in the meetings and keep telling staff, please, this year we've been very victorious. We have built a complex. They can clap, but
How does it benefit them?
yes.